This video is proudly sponsored by EA. A massive thank you to them for letting me play F1 2021 early and providing you with this content. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back once more with F1 2021 with a bit of a tradition on the Matt212 channel. Yesterday, we are going to be doing our annual pad versus wheel review. Day 1, F1 2021. Of course, we're going to be heading back to the Belgian Grand Prix circuit. Yeah, I don't know why this has sort of like become a thing I have to do at the start of all of the F1 games. But of course, we are going to be comparing the 2021 Mercedes on the pad versus the wheel. Of course, I'm going to show you each lap individually, then a side-by-side comparison and sort of have my final thoughts as well at the end of the video. But obviously, if this is something you do want to enjoy, make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. We're trying to hit 20,000 subscribers on the channel at the moment. Obviously, check out all the other videos we've made on F1 2021, and obviously, if there are any other comparisons you want to see, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. And if you see an idea that you like, let me know as well. Give that comment a like, and obviously, hopefully, it'll be right at the top of the comments so I know which other videos to make here on F1 2021. But of course, then, we'll start this with the wheel lap. Of course, generally on the F1 games, I do tend to use a wheel. Of course, currently, obviously, I'm rocking a Fanatec CSL PS4 edition. For this video, I'm using the Fanatec Loadcell brake kit with the Formula V2 rim. So obviously, all the sort of fairly standard stuff. It's what pretty much, obviously, very, very similar to what the guys have used in the F1 Esports series in the past as well. And of course, obviously, I will be releasing a wheel settings video tomorrow as well for you guys. So obviously, if you aren't already and you're interested in that, you know, if you've got a similar setup to me, I think it will be very, very useful for most Fanatec users as well, of course. Now, like I said, obviously, the wheel is my most common sort of use case on the F1 games. Of course, it's what I've been using for all the career mode videos and everything like that. You know, you guys would have seen with all the live commentary, you know, with the wheel cam and everything like that. So, you know, I'm used to it on these games as well. You know, personally, I do think with F1 2021, obviously, we'll talk a bit more about it when we go into the pad lap. But I think with the changes to the way the curbing works and everything like that, I think, yeah, once more, the wheel is going to have a bit of an advantage. And of course, with the esports rise we've seen on the F1 games in recent years, you know, if you're sort of a competitive racer, everything like that, you know, generally most people now are using a wheel. And I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, you know, sort of, what wheel do I get and everything like that. I might make a buyer's guide if that's something you guys want to see as well. You know, I've used quite a lot of wheels in the past over the course of my air quotes YouTube career. It's really not, but you guys obviously know what I mean. Heading through Blanchemont, though, of course, you get all the normal perks with the wheel, you know, able to be really, really precise. You know, obviously, braking as well on proper pedals is really, really nice. And obviously, through the final chicane, you know, you can try and catch slides and everything like that there. And coming up towards the line, it's actually the world record on Xbox at the moment. There are 42.5. Not a particularly brilliant lap, but a fairly decent benchmark. Obviously, didn't take too long to get up to speed on the wheel as well. They're doing some celebratory donuts at the end of the lap as well. Of course, you know, traditions here on F1 2021 there. But anyway, moving on to our pad lap then. Now, this one, I won't lie to you guys, took me a whole lot longer to do there as we try and get a run out of the final corner. Obviously, for those of you guys that are wondering, I used to play Forza Motorsport competitive on the pad. I mean, I still do from time to time, so that's sort of like where most of my pad experience comes from. I was using a pad up until F1 2016 as well. You know, sort of like all the older games, I had been using a pad as well. Of course, all the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation games were very, very pad friendly. Of course, when they made the switch over to F1 2015, you know, a lot more wheels were commonplace on the F1 games as well there. And I think there's certainly some areas where the pad still has an advantage. Braking and traction are still, I felt like I could be even more confident on the brakes. And there you see, I probably wouldn't have been able to save that slide on the wheel as well as easily as I was able to there on the pad. And you can just see in towards a lot of the braking zones, they're actually able to go much, much later on the brakes as well, of course, there. I mean, through the corners, you just don't get the precision notice. You can see we run on the white line there. I didn't really feel that was warranted of a lap invalidation that time through, as well as, weirdly enough, Puon seemed really easy to get right on the pad as well there in comparison to my wheel lap. Now, of course, obviously, I did my first laps on the wheel, so again, you know, we sort of know a little bit more about how the car's meant to handle and everything like that. But of course, for me, you know, most of the time is lost through just not being able to be as precise on the pad. You can see through a couple of the fast corners running a little bit wide on the exit there, out on towards Blanchimont once more. They're losing a couple of tenths there, but we won't worry about that all too much. You know, through the exit Stavelot, and of course, you know, Eau Rouge and Radeon, it just being as precise on the pad is just not possible for me as well, and I think that's where a lot of guys are going to struggle on F1 2021. And of course, that precision over the curbs, everything like that. I feel like theoretically the pad can be just about as quick as the wheel on these games, but you know, over a race stint, I think the wheel, yeah, once again is going to have that few tenths of advantage that is really going to make the difference for, you know, sort of top league races and everything like that. Of course, then we will compare the laps side by side quickly as well for you guys. There you can see we've got the Fanatec on the left, the pad on the right there. I'm using the audio from the wheel lap for this one, and yeah, just obviously for me, you've got to take it with a grain of salt as well. Of course, you know, we are generally much better on the wheel than the pad there, but yeah, I do just think for most users, a wheel is going to be slightly quicker. You know, if you've used a pad before and you're quick with a pad on F1 2020, I don't think you're going to be at any more of a disadvantage on F1 2021. But yeah, just I think getting that precision in, you know, qualifying laps, I feel like the pad might be there still. Obviously, once setups get all, you know, sort of sorted and everything like that, we all know what's going on with them as well. Of course, we might find, you know, the pad can remain even closer in race trim, but I just feel the disadvantages a lot of the time do outweigh the minor advantages you get with braking and acceleration there, because, you know, being consistent over a lap is far more important than being able to brake 5 minutes later into a couple of corners there, able to get on the power a tiny bit earlier in a couple of spots as well, of course, here. But, I mean, yeah, like I said, for those of you that have used the pad before, I certainly don't feel like you're going to be at any more of a disadvantage on F1 2021. So, you know, if you were competitive with your mate on a wheel on F1 2020, you're still going to be competitive on your pad here on F1 2021 as well, of course. So I might actually do a video as well down the line comparing the Xbox Series X controller versus the PS5 controller as well, of course. You know, the new DualSense very different to the PS4 controller as well, so it'll be interesting to see how that all stacks up. So, of course, if that's a video you guys want to see as well, make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed to the channel. But coming towards the end, though, of the lap, you can see the pad lap was about 6 tenths slower than our wheel lap there. Obviously, minus a couple of tenths for the mistake at Stavelot. Less than half a second in it for me. But, yeah, the pad lap took a lot more time to get right than the wheel lap as well. Hence, obviously, why it probably was a whole lot better, despite the few small mistakes we saw as well. More celebratory donuts at the end as well there. But yeah, just to recap though, obviously he's been riding once again on board with this wheel lap. Of course, Spa, probably one of the more wheel-friendly tracks as well. You know, the likes of Monaco, you know, Zandvoort as well, I think, is another one that is very much wheel-friendly. You know, sort of longer flowing corners. Around a track like Monza, the pad might be right there, even for me, obviously as someone that isn't much of a pad user, just because, you know, it's all just traction and massive braking zones as well, of course. But yeah, I certainly feel like qualifying pace, the pad, yeah, probably close enough that you can probably get similar lap times out of the pair of them. But over a race distance, you know, trying to keep the tyre wear in good nick, everything like that, by just being able to be so much more smoother on throttle application and getting the car sweep through the corners as well. I think tyre scrubbing is such a big thing on F1 2021 as well, of course, there, that over a race distance, the wheel advantage is certainly going to get bigger and bigger. But, you know, I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. I have been in the past as well, of course. I think it was back on F1 2017. I did actually get my predictions quite wrong on that game in the end, but obviously since then, you know, the F1 games, they've more tweaked the handling model, and I think as well, obviously on F1 2021, without, you know, the fuel mix anymore, it might help the pad users a little bit. You know, there's a little bit less to manage. Obviously for wheel users, we could set up binds and everything like that, so obviously you could change the fuel mix with like a conical switch on my Fanatec wheel as well, which is obviously really useful to do as well. Obviously, really now on F1 2021, all you've got to manage is the DRS and the ERS as well for you guys. But obviously, let me know down in the comments below whether you're going to be using a pad or a wheel on F1 2021 as well. You know, I'm really sort of intrigued to know what the main player base is like, and of course, if you are, whether you're going to be league racing or not on the game as well. Obviously, like I said, let me know if you want to see any other comparison videos as well on F1 2021. I've got a lot of extra content planned as well for you guys. A wheel settings video will be going live tomorrow morning as well, of course, as well as some other content as well. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon with another F1 2021 video. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick and Chuan for being a member of the channel. If you guys want to help us out as well, obviously you can join for just £1 a month with some other exclusive perks by clicking the join button down below.